I never changed my mind at all. I may shut it down at some point, but I'd rather do tariffs. So Mexico, I have to say, has been very, very good. You know that over the last 4 days since I talked about shutting down the border. If they continue that, everything will be fine. If they don't, we're going to tariff their cars at 25%.
So President Trump on his way to the border with Mexico off to California, that from a moment ago at the White House. This coming now after the president eased up on his threat to shut down the border earlier in the week. But the tariff threat is still out there. It's going to give him a year to figure it out. Pam Bondi, former Florida Attorney General, now with Ballard Partners out of Tampa today. Pam, good morning to you. Where do you think we are right now as he makes his way to California?
I think we're in a great spot, Bill. I think we're in a great spot. You know, President Trump is a master negotiator. We all know that. That's why he was such a successful businessman and why he is a great president. The Mexicans are going to listen to him because he means business. When he says he'll shut down the border, he'll shut down the border. But if he can negotiate, which he's doing, if he can put 25% tariffs on them if they don't cooperate, that'll destroy Mexico. And the Mexicans don't want that to happen. We know we have a crisis at the border. As a prosecutor my entire career, I've seen it firsthand. The drugs that flow into this country, the human trafficking that comes into this country. I've been to Mexico, as you both know, and seen it firsthand as Attorney General. And the guns that are coming into our country, you know, we as law-abiding citizens, we want to have our guns to protect ourselves. The liberals don't want us to have them. Yet, they're not concerned about the guns coming into the country going straight into the hands of Sir 13 and other gang members. That's absurd.
I want to circle back to you talking about working with Mexico.
Sure.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo was on Fox earlier talking about just that. Here he is.
They are. They're saying they're going to do it. So we need to see action. And now we need to make sure they have the capacity. And so we've worked with them to help them for years and years. We've provided lots of resources, not only to Mexico, but to Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador as well. And they have to do it. And if not, the president is going to ensure that we protect our nation.
What sort of progress do you think we can actually make there, Pam?
Well, I think, as I said, we have a master negotiator, and that's what President Trump's been doing. That's what he's so great at as president. I think we're going to make tremendous progress because I think the Mexicans know that we have a president now in office who means business. Under President Obama, his DHS secretary, he was saying we had a crisis. But now, under President Trump, they're taking us seriously, and Secretary Nielsen's been doing a great job.
You're 2 years in, and they're only replacing existing fencing and not building new border wall yet. Can you consider that an accomplishment at this point?
Well, I think we all know the president's going to get what he promised the American people: secure borders from Mexico. And a wall will be built, whether you call it a beautiful fence or a huge wall. It will be built. It's going to protect our country because the president has committed to that. And that's what's going to happen. And he's going to fight for that, as he has.
Here's what he said earlier. However, if for any reason Mexico stops apprehending and bringing illegals back to where they came from, the U.S. will be forced to tariff 25% all cars made in Mexico shipped over the border to the U.S. If that doesn't work, which it will, I will close the border. Pam.
That's right. That's exactly right. And what he's saying is, I will close the border. I'm not scared to close the border. Everyone in the world knows he will close the border. But what he's trying to do is negotiate and have them do the right thing before he shuts down the border completely. Do we have to have a wall, a gate? Yes, we do. To keep, as I said, all the drug dealers, the human traffickers, the illegal guns coming into our country, out of our country. This is a true crisis that we're living, and we all know this. In my state alone, you know, when we have, 17 to 20 people dying a day, 130 in our country, more than car accidents, that's a crisis.
Got it. Pam Bondi, thank you for joining us on America's Newsroom. Good to see you.
Thank you.
We're going in a little different direction. Ron's a good man, but we're going in a tougher direction. We want to go in a tougher direction.
What exactly is offensive about Joe Biden's behavior, and are you the right messenger for that?
Yeah, I think I'm a very good messenger, and people got a kick out of it. He's going through a situation. Let's see what happens, but people got a kick. We gotta sort of smile a little bit, right?
Do you see Joe Biden as a threat? Do you see Joe Biden as a threat?
No, I don't see Joe Biden as a threat. No, I don't see him as a threat. I think he's only a threat to himself. I just don't see him as a threat. He's been there a long time. His record's not good. He'd have to run on the Obama failed record. You look at what happened with so many different things. North Korea, the Middle East, the economy never got going. No, I don't think Joe's a threat. I'd love him to be. I mean, look, I'd be happy with any of them, to be honest. I never changed my mind at all. I may shut it down at some point, but I'd rather do tariffs. So Mexico, I have to say, has been very, very good. You know that over the last 4 days since I talked about shutting down the border. If they continue that, everything will be fine. If they don't, we're going to tariff their cars at 25% coming into the United States. So every time they make a car, it's a 25% tariff. That means we make money as opposed to lose money. We probably bring those car companies back into the United States. But if, on the other hand, it doesn't work, which it will, 100%, the tariffs will work just like they've worked with steel. Our steel industry is so hot right now because of what I did with tariffs. Same thing with aluminum. They'll work. But if it didn't work, I will close the border. I also am looking at an economic penalty for all of the drugs that are coming in through the southern border and killing our people. The China meeting was a big success. I think we're going to have look, we have a very good relationship. We're going to see. I don't want to predict a deal or not a deal, but we're very well along. We've really negotiated probably the two hardest points very successfully for our country. And China understands. You know, China has taken advantage of our country for 30 years. And we can't do that anymore. Not with me. Because Mexico has been absolutely terrific for the last 4 days. They're apprehending everybody. Yesterday, they apprehended 1,400 people. The day before, it was 1,000. And if they apprehend people at their southern border, where they don't have to walk through, that's a big home run. We can handle it from there. It's really good. Now, Congress has to act. They have to get rid of catch and release, chain migration, visa lottery. They have to get rid of the whole asylum system because it doesn't work. And frankly, we should get rid of judges. You can't have a court case every time somebody steps their foot on our ground. So very important that Congress acts. But Mexico, for the last 4 days, it's never happened like that in 35 years. This will supersede USMCA. USMCA is a great deal, and it's very good for Mexico, but this will supersede USMCA.
Mr. President, are you going to the correspondence dinner, or are you going to hold a rally?
I'm going to hold a rally. Yeah, because the dinner is so boring and so negative that we're going to hold a very positive rally. And we have it determined. We have about 3 sites. Everybody wants it. It'll be a big one. But the correspondence dinner is too negative. I like positive things. Okay? No, they've already got it. He's old news. He lied numerous times during his last testimony. They've had that for many months. Oh, I don't know. That's up to whoever handles it. I don't know. Hey, I'm under audit, but that's up to whoever it is. From what I understand, the law is 100% on my side. Venezuela's a mess. This is what socialism brings. You elect a socialist here, you'll have the same exact countries you have in Venezuela. Thank you.